Thank you. It's great to be back at Outperform, and it's great to be in person. So I'm going to talk about a little bit different topic today, so one that will be a little sales focused, but a lot pricing focused. So I know we have a range of different folks from functionally. So to start with, I just want to kind of explain at United, when we talk about sales, what do we mean? Really talk about our business-to-business relationships. And about 90% of that breaks down to either corporates or travel agencies. There's a lot of different kinds of travel agencies. We're going to focus a little bit more on the corporate side today. And this is the way we're organized, right? So we have large global customers who buy from many points of sale, very complex programs. We have one team that focuses on them. Then we have large corporations, but ones who buy mostly or entirely just from the United States. That's another team. Then we have small to medium enterprises who do run a travel program. That's a third team. And then we have small to medium enterprises that really don't manage travel, and we cover them primarily through digital means. So that's what sales is. I want to talk a little bit now about what we do. And I'm going to start by going back to the 70s. And in this country, in the 70s, airlines were regulated, meaning the government told us where to fly and how much to charge. And at some point, as a country, we decided it would be better if we did not regulate airlines. And so we got rid of all the government-controlled pricing. And around that time, around 1980, 1981, someone, and I've never been able to track down who this was, so the guilty will remain anonymous, but someone figured out that if you gave a corporation a discount on a fare, they might put more of their passengers on your airline. And that is kind of the original sin of airline sales, is let's sell on price. And that's what we've been doing for about 40 years. So the first 20 years, we did what we call discount for volume. So a corporation will promise a certain amount of revenue a year, and we give them discounts. We realized that didn't work because the corporations would just slice up their revenue and get whatever discounts they could for each piece. So then we moved to something called discount for share. So we do a network analysis. We say, we'll get as kind of our natural share. If you give us more than that, we'll give you a discount. And that's really still the predominant paradigm in the industry today, is discount for share. And discount for share leads to a number of challenges. And I'll talk about 5 major ones. The first and probably most important is the lack of differentiation, right? When we focus the entire conversation around price, what we're doing is commoditizing what we sell, right? And as airlines over the years, we've evolved to where we're quite different from one another, and yet we put ourselves in this position where when we're talking to a corporate buyer, we've managed to make the conversation entirely about price. The second, unpredictable outcomes, right? Because we're giving discounts now for future travel. We don't know how much revenue we're going to get, what routes we're going to get on, what our yield will be, or any of that. The third, right, is while at the negotiating table, our corporate buyers say, hey, give us a good deal, we'll push all our travelers to you and they'll fly on you. The reality is most buyers don't have very good tools to actually push their travelers into which airline to fly. Right? There's a lot of other things we do. There's a lot of other things travel agencies do. There's a lot of things that corporations do that all go into the decision about who to fly. And price is only one piece. Fourth issue, so we, like I think most others in the industry, have been running our sales process really in 1990s tech. It only automates a few pieces of the sales process. So we have to stitch together all of the other pieces with manual processes, and the tech itself was quite expensive. And then the last is our offer at the end of the day is just discount for share. That was the only thing in it. But as an airline, we sell so much more than that now, right? So those are the challenges. So how to address those? Well, about 20 years ago, there was a category of software created called CPQ software. It stands for Configure Price Quote. And it really came out of the capital equipment type industry. So if you're selling drilling equipment for an oil rig, or a robot for a factory floor, or an airplane to an airline. These are really complex products. There's lots of options, right? So anyone who's been involved in buying planes, right? So you have lots of options, whether it's the engines or the interior fit out, where the monuments go. That's just the physical part. Then you have services you can buy at delivery, services you buy after delivery, warranties, very complex, right? So the configure price quote software was really developed to address that type of super complex sale, where a lot of times if I wanted this option, I also need to do these things, all right, all that. So that's kind of the configure price quote software. Has not really been used in the travel industry very much. There's a few who've used it on the cargo sales side, but it's never really been used in passenger sales. Has never really been used even in other segments, such as hotel or car, right? But we looked at it and we said, we think we can address all these problems by using CPQ software. So we did a typical vendor selection process. And at the end of the day, end up selecting the Pros Smart CPQ product, right? And as you might guess, Pros is a great fit because the depth and airline expertise. But anyone who's spent all the time in the airline side may not realize they're equally deep on the CPQ side in a lot of other B2B industries. So it's a really good fit for us. And what we have built on that platform is called United for Business Blueprint, and it is our new solution for corporate contracting. And it gives us 4 basic capabilities, right? The first is we can use any kind of data we want, we can configure the model however we want, and we can have a very flexible sales process that we can design for whatever the need is. The second is we can bring United's entire product catalog, right? We're no longer selling just fares. We're selling everything we have to sell as an airline, whether that is ancillary products or a lot of other things. And I'll go into more detail on that in the next couple of slides. Third, it allows us to differentiate ourselves. There are a lot of things that we like to refer to as uniquely United. And when we were doing the discount for share deal, we could not bring any of that uniquely United stuff into the deal. We can bring it into the negotiation. Now we can. And the fourth is it's just much better automation. It is more efficient and actually costs less. So let's talk a little bit about what the key concept is within our configure price quote, within United for Business Blueprint. And it's this idea of balanced exchange, right? Whereas before all we had to trade was discount and share, now we have many things on each side of the scale that we can add. So on the left-hand side here, these are just product categories. Each of these has many specific products within it, but leisure products, the frequent flyer program, corporate products, various kinds of fares. And on the things we might ask for from a customer, in addition to share, right, we can ask for things related to distribution, engaging with the travelers, other kinds of enterprise engagement, okay? So I'll bring this to life a little bit with one example. And this is it says financial services. This is a global payment provider, right? Payment processor is what this company is. And they came to us and you know, they were one of many of our customers who said to us over the years that they want a different kind of deal. They want to bring other things into the deal, and we were not capable. Well, now we're capable of doing it. And so this is the deal we built with them, or a summary of the deal we built with them. And you will see some typical elements, right? There are route discounts in there, like there always have been, but there's a lot of other stuff. So elite status. Now, us and many other airlines have kind of given away elite status to corporate customers for a long time, but we could never model it as part of the deal before. Now we can, right? Ancillary products, that has been a long-standing request from corporate customers, that they want to include ancillaries in the deal. Like, we now actually can do that on a product-by-product basis, right? Each ancillary, we can do something different if that's what's needed. Enterprise-type things. So this company, sustainability is really important to them. It's very important to us as an airline. We were the first airline to engage companies in buying sustainable aviation fuel. But we were doing that one-off. Now that is part of their overall corporate deal. They are buying sustainable aviation fuel in order to reduce the carbon footprint of their business travel. And they are assured that that's going to happen because they built it into their master deal. And discretionary funds. So we have a corporate customer portal called Jetstream that has a lot of options about how to use discretionary funds. Again, we've had that portal for a while. We've given away the funds for a while, but we could never model them in the deal. Now we can. On the other side of the ledger, if you will, what did we get? Beyond share commitment. So first and probably most obvious, favorable booking channel. So this company agreed as part of this deal, they would move all their bookings off of EDIFACT onto NDC, which has in fact happened. They're 100% on NDC now. They also agreed to promote the usage of our app, right? So our mobile app, we think is the best in the industry. But for sure, what we know is when travelers use it, they're happier and more satisfied. And that's good for the company too, right? A happier traveler is a happier employee. So they are promoting their employees to download and use the app as part of their travel experience. We also got several new channels in which to talk to the travelers, right? So we got some digital marketing channels so that we can tell them, inform them like, hey, as an employee of this company, when you fly United, here's what you get, right? These are the benefits. Oftentimes, these kind of benefits are negotiated as part of the deal, and the travelers on the front line actually don't know, right? So now we can inform them, make sure they understand what they get as part of the deal. And we also have, it says traveler messaging, but it's the ability to have two-way conversation for individual travelers to ask questions. Like, why did something happen this way? Or I'm trying to book something, I can't write, whatever the question is. Why can't I get more elite status? Well, I'll fly more, right? So but whatever the question is, we now have a way to engage and talk with them, right, in a very direct manner. So these are all things that are built into the contract that are valuable to us as an airline, as a supplier, right, that we never had before. Now, we've got dozens of other deals, and you could look at some of those deals, and not one of these elements would be in the deal. And that's the last point, right, is we've got this big catalog on both sides now. And when we do a deal, it's about making it customized, tailored to that company, what their employees need, what their travel program objectives are, right? And the discussions, the negotiations are much richer, and price is nowhere near as big a component of it as it used to be, right? Because if at the end of the day, the only thing you put on the table is price, that's what your entire discussion is going to be about. When you put everything they need on the table, the price gets deprioritized. So that is our learning. We're about a year into this. We still have a lot to go, a lot of plans for what we'll do in the future. But I think our learning so far has been that this has just been a home run for us in terms of the customer relationships and in terms of the kinds of deals we get done and the value created on both sides of that deal. So thank you very much.